Thanks, Reza. Thanks for all DevGAMM organizers for having this opportunity to share some knowledge. My name is Tan, and for the upcoming 25 minutes, I will be talking about the best monetization and LiveOps trends in 2024. So, a couple of words about me and why you should believe me in the first place. You can find me through this link. I've been working in the gaming industry for the past 10 years, give or take, as a product manager, as a producer, but mainly with the numbers and with data. So analyzing is my bread and butter. It's super important for me, and that's why I know what I'm talking about. If you work in the mobile industry, you should know AppMagic. We are an analytical service for analyzing mobile markets and getting actionable insights, and we deconstruct games, monetization, and events. We also analyze LiveOps of more than 200 mobile games, and we continue to track them on a daily basis. So we have a lot of information gathered, and I want to share these insights with you today. So buckle up, because there will be a lot of usefulness packed in this talk. But first of all, and simple but really important, crucial question is, why LiveOps? Why is it so important? And we've gathered some data to confirm it. So ironically, all these numbers are ones. It's a coincidence, but you all know that during the last couple of years, mobile revenue was in decline. The overall market was in decline, post-COVID hangover, not very big investments, lots of reasons. During this year, the picture is looking brighter, so we are on a plateau, even a little growth, like 1%, but it's still tiny compared to pre-COVID and especially COVID times, which basically means that it's super difficult to launch new successful games in the current market condition. And our numbers confirm it. So out of all casual games that came out during this year, they were well built, well produced, well advertised. We're not talking about trash games. Only 1% became successful. Just think about it, it's a crazy number, 1% of all the casual games. And with these 1%, the average return of investment was 1 year or more. So you have to wait a lot and not to be sure about the choices you've made. And in these market conditions, running LiveOps, so scaling already existing games, is much more profitable and less risky. As CEO of Supercell said it, the question facing us now, which we always have faced, by the way, is how do we make each game even better by adding new content and features? So he's basically talking about LiveOps. You might be wondering, what is the criteria for us to choose monetization trends or LiveOps trends? And there are 3 of them. First of all, this should be events and offers driving revenue and/or engagement growth. So we are talking about the methods that are working. Secondly, they appear in top grossing games and genre leaders. So they are developed and used by the best of the best. Last but not least, these are the things that are trending across the market, spreading across different niches and different genres. So we were trying to look for these 3 major criteria. And I will have 5 monetization trends and 5 LiveOps trends for you to dig into today. For both of them, I will use AppMagic internal tools, monetization intelligence, and LiveOps and updates calendar. So with the monetization, we will talk about customizable offers, double passes, gameplay offers, hybrid offers, and buy one, get X free type of offers. Let's start with the customizables right away. So customizables offers, as you can guess, are the offers that can be customized by the player. So the player can choose what type of reward should be included in the bundle. Usually, these type of offers work much better because players are more likely to convert into the payers as they have a sense of control. And it's really interesting because the control can be illusional. At the end of the day, they can be making a worse choice than if it was made for them by the automatic system. But this feeling that you control the outcome really helps to make these offers personalized. And there are a lot of examples. This one is from Merge Mention, but these type of offers are widespread across hybrid casual, mid-core genre, basically all the categories. And the reasons they are working, 3 of them, main motivators are personal connection. I made this offer myself. I'm connected to it. Sense of control. I choose what is really important for me at the moment. I know better than the developers. And gamification. I'm not just pressing the buy button. I'm also choosing. I'm playing with it. I can be flexible about it. This is, by the way, an example from Triple Match 3D, where you can choose from 9 different rewards and resources in order to form your offer. And as I've told, these are widespread in different niches. Triple Match 3D, hybrid casual, whiteout survival, fork strategy, mid-core, coin master, social casino, casual game. All of these are working pretty much the same. And you can see that usually the number of slots are pretty much little, from 3 to 6 max, just because given too much choice can really confuse the players. So an interesting example, going back again to Triple Match 3D, there are 2 things I want to mention. First of all, you can see that depending on the combination of the resources, the price of the outcome will be different. So we're giving players a limitless combination of opportunities, but the price point is not set. And second one, and I think it's not really obvious from UX UI perspective, so it's a drawback, you can choose more than 3. On the last picture, you can see that there are 9 out of 3 chosen, and there is a price, and you can still buy it. It's like the fullest offer you can get, but it's not obvious from the whole UX UI perspective. So the whole idea behind it, and I'd say the main outcome, is to give the players limited options. Don't over-confuse them with much options, but unlimited possibilities of combinations. Don't make the choices too big or too small. Great example here, Legend of Mushroom. You can see that they have a predefined number of resources. You know what you are getting, but also you can get 1 extra or 2 extras of the ones you will choose. So it's a pretty sweet spot in between a whole flexibility and being predetermined. Now going to the double pass. This is a trend that appeared last year, but it became super popular this year. Usually in this case, we're talking about battle or season passes with 2 paid tracks. They work really well because they can cater to different player segments and payer options, and they boost both revenue and engagement. But you should be super careful about them because there is a big risk of cannibalization. If not implemented correctly, if the UX, UI and rewards balanced are not very fine-tuned, you will end up with losing revenue instead of catering to more player segments. By the way, this is example from Screwjam, where you can see a gold pass and ultimate gold pass. That's the usual name that are given to this type of passes. And that's one of the 2 ways to implement this feature. Just like with the previous example, these can be found in all the categories: Tilebusters, Empires and Puzzles, mid-core, whiteout survival, mid-core, casual games will be later down the road, mushroom survival. So they are very popular. They can be found in horizontal games as well. Brawl Stars, Supercell, a very popular example of how double pass can be implemented, and they work in mid-core really well. As I've said, there are 2 main ways to implement these features from the UX UI perspective. The first one, a clear side-by-side comparison of value with similar items at milestone. So here for Legend of Mushroom, you can see that at each stage, at each milestone, you have pretty much the same rewards, but the number are different. So it's easier for the player to understand what is the potential additional value they will be getting. The drawback of this approach is that the interface is really cluttered. There are a lot of details here. So another option is going with all of these plus extra approach. So you have the basis battle pass, and then you click on the buy button or extra button, and you see that, you will get all of these plus extra. You will not get all the additional information on the resources included, but the interface is really sleek and very clean. I'd say the best option here is to try 2 of these and to intertwine them. Merge mention. You can see 2 different battle passes, and they're pretty minimized. So it's all of these plus extra approach. But then you can click on the information button and see all the details. And how they appear help you to compare them much more effectively. So it's best of 2 worlds. Going from there, let's talk about gameplay offers. So as you can tell, these are the offers where playing the game changes the offers you receive in one of 2 ways. Either you receive an opportunity to purchase offer in the first place, or you can get a significant discount. And these type of offers, they combine revenue and engagement in one, just like with Season Pass or Battle Pass. By the way, that's example from CoinMaster, Chop the Price, that we will talk about just in a second. Whoop. Or not, but hopefully yes. Oh yeah, all right, we're back on track, thank you. All right, maybe I should have drank some water during this. So usually this type of offers that can be seen in casual casino games. For example, this one is from Dice Dreams, Deep Dive Journey. The player needs to earn the currency in order to progress through the chain of offers. The chain of offers is a classical type of offer where there is a paid option, then a free one, then a paid, and so on. But in order to be ready to purchase it, you have to play the game more. Another one, and we've already seen it, Chop the Price from CoinMaster. The more you play, the more you progress, the bigger the discount is, and the better the rewards inside the offer are. So it's both about the engagement and about the revenue. A good combination here might be a combination with so-called growth offers. Growth offers are the ones where you pay now, but you get the value later as you progress down the game. Tomorrow, in a week, in a month. In this case, this is an offer from Gossip Harbor. Value is reversed. So you pay now, and you get the value later, but your later stage value also heavily depends on your engagement. The more you play, the better result you will get. You already paid for it, so it only depends on your activity. By the way, talking about hybrid offers, that's a good moment to dive deeper into them. So hybrid are not about combining in-app monetization and ad monetization, you might think, but about a combining of several proven features and UX/UI solutions in once, like gameplay offers plus growth, chain of offers plus pass, login calendar plus milestone plus offers, piggy bank plus chain of offers, and so on. So this type of Frankensteins that you can collect out of different parts. By the way, this is an example from Toon Blast, and it's pretty much the same as from Gossip Harbor. So you can see that you buy right now, but the outcome you will get depends heavily on how you play the game. And these are the examples from all the other categories. As I've mentioned, it is widespread. Seaside Escape, this is a classical buy all type of offer where you have several options, and the best one is big, beautiful button buy all with the biggest discount. But logic underneath is chain of offers. So the visuals and the logic are different. For Empires and Puzzles, they just decided to make it as big as they can get. Calendar, milestone, daily login, so just put it all in one. For CoinMaster, well, this is an interesting one. So you get this chain of offers that is monopoly-like. You can go in circles basically forever. But in the middle, you also have a milestone. So the moment you hit the milestone goal, you have an additional value based on your progression. Yeah, and that's a great example from another game, Klondike Adventures, from a farming game, because this is a chain of piggy banks. You work with the first one, you activate it, you break it, you go to the second one, and then you buy the third one. So you might be questioning which offers can be combined. So are there any rules? And to be honest, the rules are pretty simple. It's just like Lego set. First of all, they should be visually coherent because it is very dangerous to make it too cluttered and overcomplicated. Secondly, they should not cannibalize themselves. And third, they should be clear and understandable. A good example here, another one, Mob Control. They decided to make an offer that combines Season Pass and chain of offers. These two look pretty much the same. They work pretty much the same, so it's not like natural to try and combine them. So try not to overcomplicate it. Use the ones that are already pretty much simple and alike. And last but not least, let's talk about 1Y, GetX free offers. So here, player gets more value for the same price. Or think so because it's not about being rational. It's about seeing the free word and reacting to it. A reverse to discount, where players get the same value for lesser price, there you buy one pack and get X packs for free. So that's an example from Travel Town where you can get 1 + 1. And by the way, you can notice that the logic behind it is the same as with Double Battle Pass. You have the same type of resources on the same lines in order for players to easily compare them. But we are not stopping there. It can be 1 + 1, it can be 1 + 2, it can be 1 + 3. And at that moment you might be wondering, okay, but where is the end? Well, with Coin Master, it is 1 plus 6, and it can go even bigger. I mean, the sky is the limit, and it also depends just on set of criteria. First of all, production complexity. You can notice that all of these offers, they are templates. They can be interchangeable. You can easily make 1 plus 3 or 1 plus 6 out of 1 plus 1. It shouldn't be too difficult to product. You should test them, so you should run tests fast and easy, and just basic adequacy, as usually we use it in the game development. So the most important part about it is don't be shy to test even the craziest hypothesis, because you'll never know whether it will work or not. If you ask me whether or not 1 plus 6 will work, well, possibly I will say, well, it isn't likely, but we see it. So it's much easier to have a very fast running tests, rapid iterations, and having the results firsthand. Going from there, we talked about monetization, 5 monetization trends, and now let's go to the 5 events and features trends that were based on the LiveOps and updates calendar. We will talk about casual casino mechanics, albums, win streaks and FOMO, tycoon racers and reskins, and customizable events. The first one, casual casino mechanics. We've seen a very big widespread of events based on these mechanics in the industry. Usually, these gambling mechanics are implemented in regular events, and they are easy to create and iterate. They are highly addictive, just by their nature. They are easy to learn. You do not have to explain a lot of rules to the players, and they are naturally monetized. We track over 180, almost 200 events with these mechanics in different games across the genres during this year. By the way, that's an example from Royal Match, Dragon Nest, that includes a plinko machine type of mechanic. It's not the only one, because the whole event is much, much more complex, but it's an important part of it. Just like with the previous examples, you can see Frozen City with Whack-A-Mole, Idle Lumber Empire with classical Monopoly, and the Monopoly itself with the plinko. So the events can be super simple. They can be stripped down to the only gambling mechanic, or they can be pretty complex, just like with the Royal Match and Dragon Nest event, which is cooperative. You have to play with other players and with your friends. It is engaging because you have to play the core levels and other events in order to progress and to receive special value. And then it's gambling because you use the special tokens to play the plinko machine and raise your dragons. So it's a circle that helps you to be engaged both socially and in the game. And there are a lot of mechanics we're talking about here. Currently in the tool, we've got almost a dozen of them, just to name some of them: Monopoly-like, Plinko-like, Bingo, Lucky Wheel, Coin Pusher, and so on. This list is really long. And in some cases, just like in Tile Busters, you can see that unlike Royal Match, they decided to put several very simple gambling mechanics in one event. So it's like going out there and in the casino and playing different games at once. Going from there, albums. Classical meta feature, you've all seen it, you've all tried it, but now it has a second breath thanks to the events. Usually it's collectible items that can be obtained either through core gameplay or by completing other events. If implemented correctly, and if is the most important word here, they significantly drive players' engagement through additional goal setting and collectible motivation. Just as Pokemon taught us, you gotta catch them all. Royal Match is a very interesting example here because they originally had this as a meta feature, and they totally reworked it this year, making it a time-limited event. And it became working much, much better. So, not just that, Merge Mansion, Dice Dreams, Monopoly Go. Monopoly Go was so sure about this feature that they introduced albums in cooperation with Marvel, which are pretty big guys. So you can see that it is implemented pretty much the same. And the example I've just mentioned, that you can combine this motivation also with fear of missing out, just like Roll Match did, because they changed albums from a permanent feature to time-limited seasonal events like Fall Collection, Halloween Collection, Winter Event, and then you can see a boost in the engagement from the players. It works totally different. Going from there, as we've already mentioned, win streak and fear of missing out, let's go deeper inside of it because it's another big LiveOps trend that was going on. Win streak is one of the most effective engagement and revenue drivers, and usually it can be approached from two different sides. One, the side of sunk costs. You're already ahead. You're ahead of two players, 5 players, 10 players, you name it. You don't want to lose out. Or lost profit. You will lose very big value, X resources, if you back up right now. An important part here, and it's ironic because we spotted games that tried to use win streak mechanics without giving players these sinkable costs or losable profit. And they didn't really work. Well, not surprising, because you have players to be involved and to be engaged. These type of mechanics were so popular that some of the games, like Matchington mentioned, they began selling whole bundles that included a win streak saver, going from a level to a level. And this works for mid-core as well. Squad Busters, the new globally launched game from Supercell, released Streak and Streak Saver as one of the main monetization and engagement mechanic for the game. Because after the match, it really affects how much reward you will get. And of course, Lava Quest from Royal Match. It was not the first event, to be fair, but it is one of the most widespread, and a lot of other companies copied it. So it's basically a trend of battle royale casual events where players compete with others, 50, 60, 100, and they use any means possible to win. These type of events, they boost the monetization hugely because they really help through purchasing boosters, usually either pre-level boosters or enhanced, or as we call them, boosted boosters during the level. So that's the example from Royal Match, the original Lava Quest event, but then you've got Toon Blast, you've got Candy Crush Soda Saga, you've got Candy Crush Saga, and more than a couple of dozen games from casual genre that introduced this type of Royal Match as well. By the way, interesting enough, these games introduced it not just for 50 players like the original ones, but for 100. So we are going bigger there. Going down, Tycoon Racers and Reskins. So for Monopoly Go, another pretty big game, the most profitable Monopoly Go event during this year was Tycoon Racers and different reskins of this game. Each appearance led to a significant revenue spike. Interesting that this event is an evolution of Baking Partners event, so that's another pretty interesting and pretty successful event they were driving, but they decided to boost it even more. And the main focus of these events are competitive and cooperative mechanics. Monopoly Go, in a nutshell, in the original game, is a lot about being social, about connecting with the friends, playing with the friends. So this event takes it to the whole next level. And there are a lot of implementations of that. So they didn't end up running it on a regular basis. Instead, they used different reskins and different special occasions like 4th of July, St. Valentine's Day, or collaboration with Marvel to even further boost the revenue. So I won't get really deep into the details because we had a thorough deconstruct of this event. It's so important and so big. But just to give you in a nutshell understanding, the secret sauce, first of all, PvP and co-op mechanics utilizing both these motivations help to boost it. Secondly, stage-based structure to keep players hooked during the whole event. So it's not just about we begin today and we can end event in a day and then there is nothing to do there. You have to return to the game on a daily basis in order to compete with the new stages, and they have irregular timers. So this increases the number of sessions during the day because you do not know where you have to return and when you will be beat and you have to play once again. Going from there, customizable events. The last one, bear with me, we're almost over. So this one is not a very widespread trend yet, but it is potentially one of the biggest events for 2025. So I think you should be paying attention here. So this one is an event we've spotted in Brawl Stars just a week ago, and it's already going huge. The main idea behind it is that it gives a sense of novelty and gives players a sense of control, not just over the offers, but over the event, over the abilities they can choose, over the skills, over the size they can choose. So it's basically pretty much the same as the offers, but on a whole different levels. The event name, by the way, is Angels versus Demons, and it's still running. So the main idea is that, step one, you tie event-specific abilities to gacha milestones. So on a daily random basis, you receive some gacha energy, some gacha elements that help you to progress through milestones, and these milestones give you new skills to your brawlers. Second one, you receive an element of randomness, assigning players to different teams. So once again, on a daily basis, you can be assigned to one of the different teams, angels or demons, you don't know in advance, and it changes the whole play style. It changes the number of abilities available to you. And last but not least, it drives curiosity, because through limited available skills, you're really interested. Okay, today I can play with my favorite character, but with additional skills. Tomorrow, I can play the same character, but with another set of skills, and it will not be available in a month. So I will really want to squeeze the maximum out of it. A good news here is that this is 2 events in one, technically, for the players, but for the developers, it's one, because you use the same UX UI, you use the same mechanics, you use the same milestones, the same balance. The only things that are changing, and you can see it right away, is the visuals. And using these rich skins, even inside one event, you can get the sense of novelty and the feeling of 2 events running simultaneously by saving your resources. So, to sum it up, if there are 3 things you will take away from this presentation, I want them to be these. First of all, look for trends and know what's working for your game and audience. So, research wide and research deep, but at the same time, think about your game. Don't try to implement just any trend and mechanic that is out there in the market, because it won't work. Think both about the trends and your game. Secondly, research smart and use best tools. Save time for implementation. That's one of the reasons we came up with the LiveOps calendar and monetization intelligence, to do all the heavy lifting and to save you resources and time. And last but not least, use data, find its sites. Not just go blindly with, we think they will like it. Use the data approach, explore big and wide as well as deep and detailed inside the genres, and it will give you actionable insights with bigger success rate. And that's it for today. If you want to know any details or see additional examples or just want to talk afterwards, I will be happy to connect. Also, don't forget to add me on LinkedIn, and I think we will have some time for Q&A, so happy to answer your questions right now.
Yeah, I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Yeah, let's start. Could you?
Thanks. Thank you, Stan. A quick question. I was wondering, most of these games, successful games, do you think they took these trends that they made famous from other games, or were they innovating with them?
Well, that's a good question. I'd say in some cases they were innovating. Say, for example, Brawl Stars that use customizable events. We haven't seen much events like that in other mid-core games at the moment. But in a lot of cases, just like with Royal Match that added lava quests, or just with Travel Town that uses a lot of 1+1, 1+2, 1+3, these type of events were first spotted by us in other games, but they were not as successful and not as top grossing. So I'd say in a lot of cases it's the question of researching the market the proper way, seeing what type of events are on the rise and implementing them before all the rest. So it's about early bird getting the first worm.
Right, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, we have a question.
Yeah. I have a question regarding what are the main differences between the infinite offers and the buy 1 plus X, or because they seem fairly similar?
What do you, just to be on the same page, what do you call infinite offers?
The one you buy one and more appear. You buy
like a chain of offers,
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you can, yeah. So I'd say, and it's funny because from the developer's perspective, a lot of the offers I was talking about, they work the same. I mean, you can get a classical offer, you can get a discount, and it will be an offer with a discount, but from the inside, it's still the same offer. You can separate it in 2 offers and say 1+1, and it's still the same offer. Or you can set it in 10 stages, give half of them for free, then half of them for price, and it will be the same offer. So I think it's important to understand that the way we address it from the inside and the way the players address it from the outside is very, very different. For example, we totally know that you do not receive additional value in this case. But it's not about the players. What they do, they see the free button, they see a beautiful design, and they see a very vivid correlation with the one that you will have without or with the additional value. So I'd say that from our perspective, it's not very different. From the player's perspective, what usually makes sense is UX UI and how these things are implemented and visually shown so that you are converted to pay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I think we don't have any more time for the questions, so please, if you have questions for Stan, look for him in the Q&A area or just in the hallway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.